It is indeed true that our brother Brian Chira has left us. It is devastating that we received the news so early. Brian Chira was a young man full of life. He was a young man full of ambition. He is a young man who promised the entire nation that he would be something out of himself. Brian Chira was an example of young people who stand up for themselves and fight for themselves and eventually become something in the society. So personally, as Samuel Githaiga, I'm here to confirm that a brother has left me. Brian Chira was a brother. He's a man who we talked a lot. Remember, he's a young person who came out living with HIV. I am a HIV activist, and so when I come here, I came to confirm that one of my brothers and one of the young champions that we have in Kenya has left us so tragically. Yeah.
And how did you receive the news?
Well, the news is tragic. It is devastating. It is breaking. I cannot even try to imagine that we will ever have another Brian Chira. Nobody can ever fit the shoes that Brian Chira alivaa. Hakuna mtu ambaye anaweza kureplace the gap that Brian Chira has left. Brian Chira lived so well for my people. We have spoken with him before. He has told me that all he wanted was to make sure that we have a safer society. And for young people living with HIV in Kenya, I am here to confirm that we have suffered one of the greatest losses in our history. A young person who is a public figure, who came out living with HIV, and within a moment, ashatuacha. It is totally devastating. It is breaking. I received the news yesterday night. I could not even sleep. But mambo ya God, tunachia Mungu. It is God who gives, and it is God who has taken. Yeah.
Do you have any idea of what really happened?
So I don't have an idea of what happened. I can't prove. But from the information we get is that Brian Chira got an accident at the wee hours of jana asubuhi. And it is so devastating. What I would like to ask is tafadhali madereva wetu, as we are doing this, as we are driving, as we are looking for our hustles, let us be considerate. Let us look on our roads. Najua saizi mambo ni ngumu, labda hatuwezi blame mtu for now, but let us be considerate, because I don't think this pain that Brian Chira has left can be justified for anything. So I would like to urge our drivers, even as we drive, even at night, let us remember that these young people muna condemn, these young people munasema ni walevi, they are our sons, they are our brothers, they are people who had an impact on our society. So let us be careful on our roads. I wish we could bring back Brian. It is the most devastating news I've had in so many years. Yeah.
And maybe do you recall the last moments that you had with Brian Chira? How was it like?
We have been speaking with Brian. I spoke with him on TikTok live around 2 weeks ago, and Brian was full of life. We kept on talking to each other kwa social media zetu ambazo ni kama WhatsApp, and Brian had no issue. Brian was a young man who was struggling in his own levels, and he did everything to fight for his own self. Brian wanted to prove to the whole world that indeed you can be young, indeed you can have issues, but you can still come out a winner. That is what I remember Brian for. Brian was a fighter. He fought for all of us. He fought battles I would never fight as Samuel Githaiga. When Brian met me, or when I met Brian the first time, he told me, Githaiga, I want you to hold my hands because I want to help my people. But I saw in Brian something that I could not see in myself. Brian was a fighter, and he fought for our people. So yeah.
Sorry.
It's okay. It's okay.
Yeah.
So maybe you are so close to Brian.
Yeah.
So many people maybe they want to see what next from now.
What next from now is to urge all communities, our community, I would also ask the TikTok family to mourn Brian in peace. Brian has left us. I would also ask that we wait for plans. Baba Talisha and others who are friends to Brian as well are on top of things. They will inform us in due time. Tukue wapole na from now henceforth tungoje words from them. But as we wait from words from them, I want to ask all community members and all TikTokers ya kwamba ni waulize tunazika mmoja wetu. Tumeachwa na mmoja wetu. Brian Chira gonna be the unifying factor. Tumechukiana, tumepigana, tumezozeana, lakini for Brian Chira we gonna come together to fight for him and to be there for him at the last minute. Brian never wanted people to hate each other. Brian stood for peace. Brian stood for people working together. And that is the spirit that I want to urge everybody to come with it at the last minute of Brian. Chira, nikiangalia picha zake za juzi, wale watu walikuwa na yeye pale, alikuwa ana have fun. He was full of life. He was a happy person. Brian lived a happy life. Regardless of what people saw, Brian lived a happy life. He had his own struggles. He fought to deal with them. And it is my prayer and it is my call that we take Brian to rest as people who are united and as people who believed and who believe in the same principles that Brian believed in. That is the best honor we can give to Brian Chira. Thank you.
So maybe what is that one thing that you'll never forget about Brian Chira?
I will never forget the fact that Brian Chira stood up for my people. I'm one person living with HIV. We have 2.5 million people living with HIV. But Brian Chira was among the first people who came out